Arizona election. Jesus Christ. Dude has fucking 2 shirts. Like, I know I have 2 copies of this shirt, right? Oops, I stepped on my headphones. Hold on, let me fix them. I like this shirt so much, I bought a second one so I could have a clean one. So when I do stand up, like, I like to have a favorite shirt I wear on stage when I'm doing stand up. It's just a thing. And so I got a couple of these because of my love for Real Genius. I bought 2 of these. I bought another one, but it was from a different vendor and it doesn't wear as well. It's kind of crappy, but these wear perfectly. I love these. Like, they're comfortable. I mean, I could buy 10. I could literally get 10 of them and just wear one every day. This would be my version of of Einstein's clothing, right? So I have 2 of these, and so I can wear a clean one. This asshole has blue of these and red of these shirts, and I don't think he has a white one. We haven't seen one in a while, although he may. Yeah, get ready for the 5 eggs, I have no doubt. But, there's a lot of complicated details and information and news and numerical values and exponential things that you probably wouldn't understand because you were born in a barn like the other primitives. And it's hard to break down in the Arizona audit, right? But luckily, Dan Bongino is going to break it down for us. Arizona election officials make a stunning admission under oath. This is all caps stunning. This is why you must put people under oath. Holy cow. By the way, there is no click on this to make more. That's all he says. This is why you must put people under oath. Holy cow. Okay, so this is under oath. Here it comes. A whole 5 minutes and 31 seconds. So clearly we're going to get a deep dive into the real details. Stunning admission under oath. Here it comes. Very exciting. Yeah, all right, here we go.
Yesterday, this Maricopa County audit in Arizona, the election audit from 2020. This is really shocking stuff.
Yesterday, dude, it was like 3 weeks ago now.
They had a hearing up on Capitol Hill, and as Mike Cernovich noted on Twitter, and he's correct, it's really...
Oh, I see. You're doing floor scrap stories again. Like Tucker clip yesterday, just do a story, and all you do is just steal Tucker's story, which is just as dumb. And you thought Tucker's story was idiotic. Then you get his take on Tucker's story, which adds another layer of dumb. Now he's just grabbing shit. He's loud. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll bring him down a touch if I can.
Fascinating how all the big mouths on the 2020 election, it's all a hoax. It's all a...
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's a big lie.
Conspiracy theory. A rigged election, conspiracy theory losers. It's really incredible. All the people saying that are really brave on Twitter. And then when you get them up under oath, like they were on Capitol Hill yesterday, a lot of these Arizona County election officials, kind of weird how they tell a different story, no?
All right, let's see. What's the different story that they tell? What is the big, stunning revelation? Let's see.
Here's part 1 of this yesterday. I have 2 cuts from this. Here's an excellent Congressman, Andy Biggs, from Arizona.
An excellent Congressman, Andy Biggs. Words no one says except Andy Biggs into a mirror.
Asking these Maricopa County officials some questions. Hey, did you guys delete a bunch of files? Is this standard practice? That'll be part 2. Why did you delete a bunch of files?
They take them off the machines and they store them elsewhere.
Listen to the hemming and hawing and the lack of a straight answer by Maricopa County election officials who can't seem to give a straight answer as to why they deleted a bunch of files. Check this out.
Is it standard practice to delete files off a server after an election, Mr. Bennett?
I hope not.
So, Mr. Gates, will you agree with that?
By the way, these are all Republicans that are answering him.
I would say that it is appropriate to maintain files, and that's exactly what we did. We deleted the deleted files that have been discussed. They were archived.
So you admit...
Yes, you make a permanent copy on a CD-ROM because a hard drive can break down, it can get corrupted, and then you delete it off the other stuff because you're going to use that for the next election, and there's no reason to double up on stuff, because can you imagine if all the details from previous elections were still on the servers, mixing and mingling when the Arizona audit happens? Yeah, this is dumb.
You guys did delete, Maricopa County did delete files off the server after the election.
that are archived.
Yeah, and so when you released these servers and this information to the auditors to begin with, they didn't have access to those archived files at first. Is that fair to say?
They did not subpoena those. That's correct.
Okay, so you didn't feel obligated.
That's because they're stupid. They didn't ask for the records. They asked for the machines. Because they're stupid. Because they have no experience auditing elections. This would be really obvious to anyone. Now, once they had access to those archive materials, which they asked for later, they realized that they were barking up stupid trees the entire time.
To turn that over then to them.
We responded to the subpoena.
Okay. Mr. Bennett, your response to that?
I find it frankly laughable to suggest that a county, in response to a subpoena, could say we will delete files from the hard drives and materials that we give to the auditors because we have those files archived on data that we did not give to the auditors when the subpoena said turn over all the records related to the election.
So just to be clear, folks, because you just heard, now it's under oath. Everybody's not so much of a smartass anymore. Did you notice that?
Those are all Republicans. Yes, I noticed that. See, the problem was the subpoena wasn't for all the information, like the stuff that they don't have the right to have. It was the records on the election. Well, what's the records on the election? And the gear. We gave you the gear. The records on the election are what you found. Now, this is so stupid. Nobody cares. Once they got the information, which they got later, it all stands up. They know exactly what they got. It's just dumb.
All of a sudden, everybody now under oath is very careful how they answer questions.
Yes. Notice how, like, for example, this is exactly why Trump and Meadows and McCarthy and all those folks won't go under oath, Bongino. That's why. And by the way, when those guys are responding, the last guy especially was saying, I feel, which is like not evidence. It's his perception about how things should go. And he had every right to feel that way. But that doesn't mean they didn't get what they asked for.
So just to be clear, there was a subpoena issued for all of the election records. Officials in Maricopa County deleted some of the records and put it in an archive and then failed to turn over the archive.
And then they got the archive later because they didn't ask for the archive.
Again, folks, I'm very careful with how I cover material on this show.
That is the biggest pile of nonsense we've heard in the entirety of the discussion about Arizona. There is no evidence whatsoever that Bongino gives a rat fuck about the details of the information that he gives out on the show. Every time we watch, he's confused about the simplest stuff. This is absolute bullshit.
I don't need to be first. I need to be right. I'm sorry that
well, so far you've been neither. Right now you're scooping up other people's stories off of the factory floor at Twitter and Fox News, and you're still fucking wrong.
Some of you want me to jump out ahead, and that's okay. I get it. The show's for you. But I will never sacrifice my credibility. But
what credibility?
Why in hell would you not turn over material if you had nothing to hide and then try to be cute about it? Oh, well, we turned over all materials, except the stuff you deleted. Right, we deleted it, but it was archived. Did you turn over the archive? No, we didn't turn over the archive. And we're supposed to trust these people, and everything was on the up and up in Arizona. Just to be clear, don't ask any.
Well, they are Republicans, so my natural impulse is not to trust them. But in this particular case,
questions. Wait, here's part 2 of this. It gets even better. Andy Biggs, who did an excellent job here, asked these auditors, who again, under oath, are completely different. Not tough guys now.
What the fuck are you talking about? These guys have said the same shit the whole time.
He asks, hey, deleting files and then not turning them over because they're archived. Is this standard practice? Have you done this before? You're trying to create server space? Really? Have you done this in a prior election? Check this out.
Yeah, see, that's the way I read the subpoena. It was read more broadly than the county read it, for sure.
Well, that's an interpretation of the subpoena. And of course, if you'd hired somebody who actually knew what the fuck they were doing, they would have gotten broader access because they would have known what they were asking for.
So, so your Twitter account mentions that the purging of the 2020 election database in the beginning of February is a standard practice. Can you please confirm for me that that's what you do for all elections? After all elections, you do that?
I cannot confirm that for you today, but we can certainly get you that answer, Congressman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you confirm that today or not?
I really can't confirm that either today. I just know that because there is limited space on these servers, when you have to run another election, then you have to make room for the additional election data.
Also, you have an archive. If you're questioning the archive, then you have a conversation. Yeah, the Maricopa County election officer, they pushed back, Maricopa electors or the Secretary of State's office pushed back on Twitter to a lot of these accusations. That's what he's referring to. And if you're going to say they took it off of here and the archive that they gave us is not accurate, then you have something to talk about. Who gives a rat fuck if it's still on this drive versus that drive if it's legitimate? If you have evidence, and they do have the chain of command of when it was downloaded and the before and after imaging. So if you have evidence that somewhere between what was on the server and what was stored, there's a difference, then present it. They don't. They at no point in this do they. The Arizonans, Andy Biggs, certainly not Bongino. Nobody says that there was a difference between what was on the server and what was on the archive material. Nobody. And these guys are already, these are Republicans.
So was there additional? Was there still? Well, let me just rephrase this. If that is the standard practice, which is kind of, I don't think you guys are saying that you know for sure, but the chairman just intimated that that's the case. Can you explain to me why data was still present for prior elections on the databases in and of itself?
Yeah, again, I don't have an answer to that question, but we'll certainly get you an answer for it, Congressman.
Okay.
And also, what the fuck are you talking about? They archived it. They have the archive on it. Some people's machines, they totally blanked. Other machines, they didn't totally blank because they didn't follow instructions, or they were right-wing nut jobs who were like, there's no way Trump lost the election, so they didn't blank it. That's exactly why. Prove me wrong. Also, all the fake votes you ever find will all be Trump votes, and therefore it will widen Trump, Biden's win over Trump. Prove me wrong.
All right. I would appreciate if you would give me that information.
Whoa! You didn't even come back and answer that? That's it, Bongino? You're not going to come back? You're not going to come back and call that out? Because you can't? Fucking hell. So lazy. Just such a lazy son of a bitch.